And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the Your Health is Important Facebook Live broadcast. I am Dr. MJ Collier, your host, producer, and on-air personality, and we are coming to you live from the medical offices of Atlanta West Primary Care here in the city of Atlanta. And we're here to answer your healthcare questions. So thank you for tuning in, because we know that you have choices, you have options. There's so many podcasts, so many Facebook Lives now, but we want to have you here with us. And thank you for joining us this evening. So we're going to talk about a lot of things, but first and foremost, I want everybody to be prepared. Happy holidays. I'm Dr. MJ Collier. I'm your happy holiday health advocate. Your happy holiday health advocate, and we are really getting into it, and we want you to participate as well. So what I'm going to do for my closest followers, for those individuals that are more engaged, I want you to go to the Lipodrops.com website at any point during the broadcast right now. If you'd like to do it, Lipodrops.com, go to the website and sign up with your email address, and we are going to gift you. There will be surprise gifts for everybody that signs up. You sign up, give us your email address, and you're just going to get emails. It's just going to give away so many things for you. It may be information, it may be product. It's going to be things that are absolutely incredible and at absolutely no cost. The Healthy Holiday Santa, Dr. MJ Collier, working with you. So we want to make sure that you enjoy your holidays. We want to make sure that you obtain your slim, your trim, your sexiness. We want to get your summer hot bod here now. We want you to be happy and healthy. And that's why we want to get you through this tridemic that we have of coronavirus, influenza types A and B, and the respiratory syncytial virus that are currently dominating the environment, the news cycles, as well as the hospitals now. Everybody's getting sick and everybody's doing that. So one quick thing. One of the things that's happening with this respiratory syncytial virus and the coronavirus is that there is actually a national shortage of antipyretic preparations like Tylenol and ibuprofen, particularly in the pediatric patient population. They just aren't on the shelves. This is not a pipeline problem. There's more than enough being manufactured. It's just that the demand is so high. So you have to be very careful and conscientious. If you see it on the shelf, I would recommend highly that you purchase it and already have it in your home so that it's there and ready in case you or someone, one of your family members, your children, your grandchildren need medications to help decrease treat their symptoms if they come down with respiratory tract infection. So update, Dr. Collier's weight loss. Of course, remember, we just got through Thanksgiving. Dr. Collier had gained a pound or two. I thought I gained, when I measured myself on the Monday after Thanksgiving, I had gained 3 pounds. But guess what? Went back on intense weight loss with the Lipodrops product. We took the Lipodrops. We took the Lipo Cleanse because we wanted to rid our bodies of all that excess Thanksgiving intake that was probably just sitting on my stomach, giving me that increased weight because I did need it. It takes 3,500 calories above and beyond what you're utilizing to gain 1 pound. I would have really had to be eating a lot to have done that. So part of that was probably fake weight. And again, it just hadn't come out of me. So the Lipo Cleanse product gives you large, easy to pass bowel movement, cleans your colon out. And then, of course, the Keto Max. So remember, I said on the Monday after Thanksgiving, I gained 3 pounds. On the Friday after Thanksgiving, I had a total weight loss of 8 pounds. So I had lost the 3 that I had gained, which again, probably wasn't real weight, but 5 additional pounds. So now we are really, really where we want to be as far as our weight loss journey is concerned. I think I shared with everybody, I wanted to lose 20 pounds, then 25 pounds. And then I said, well, heck, let's go for 30. And then at 30 now, so, okay, that's good. I don't want to lose anymore. I want to monitor and meter so that I have no additional weight loss, but so that I can maintain the weight that has been lost. So we have been very successful in that, and we want you to join the weight loss journey as well. So the Lipodrops product, again, go to the website. You too can get it. The Keto Max, which is a fat burner and gives your body artificial ketosis. So it's like being on the keto diet without having to eat the keto diet proper, and you don't get keto breath and you don't get keto crotch. This is when your body becomes acidotic and you get a really foul smelling breath and a really foul smelling body odors. Your body fluids are all foul. And so you're losing the weight, but nobody wants to be around you. So this gives you that same benefit without you actually having to get into a full state of ketosis. And then, of course, the lipo cleanse, great product again to allow you to clear. Because once you start to lose the weight, all these things start to build up in your colon. So you don't want them to sit there. You want to get rid of it as quickly as possible. Remember, the lipo cleanse is not a laxative. It does not give you uncontrolled diarrhea. What it does give you is large, easy to pass stools so that you can empty your colon and get that flat tummy. You don't want that bloated feeling, that bloated belly, some symptoms, as well as, again, that's where the probiotics come in as well, because you want good bacteria in there that stops you from having those anaerobic bacteria. The anaerobic bacteria are the really foul ones that smell really bad. And so you want to have good bacteria, the aerobic bacteria, which is, doesn't smell good. It just doesn't smell as bad. And so you have less foul and more frequent bowel function, and your breath and your skin and your body and everything else as well. So that's why we're out with that. Okay, Holly, let's do roll call now. I want to see who's on, who's listening. And because we missed last week, Kalita Jones. Hello, Kalita. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so proud, and she's got it too. Michelle James. Michelle, thank you for being with us tonight. We appreciate you as well. Makila. Thank you, Miss Makiba Boland. All right, from Douglasville, we're so glad to have you with us. As always, Dorothy Gillum Brown, good evening. Thank you, Dorothy, for being here with us tonight. Okay, Kathy from Queens. We are up New York City now. Okay, thank you, Kathy. Kathy London. Francine Robinson. Hello, Francine. Thank you. Francine, you tell us where you're from. All right, Dorothy Gilliam from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Home of good food, fun, and very, very nice people. All right, Chris Goodjohn from South Carolina. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate you. Now we got North, South, East, and West. Danita Green. Good evening, Danita. Thank you for joining us as well. Maria Harris from Daytona Beach, Florida. Maria, we're having cold, wet weather here in Atlanta now. We might have to come down to Daytona and hang with you. So Sylvia Jones, good evening. Sylvia, thank you so much for joining us as well. Colette Dean Price from South Kakalaki. Thank you, Colette. Miss Price, we appreciate you. Janae Allen from West Palm Beach, Florida. Somebody's going to get me down there in Florida. I promise you. Great picture. Paula Parks Nons from Chattanooga. All right. Love Chattanooga, one of my favorite cities to visit, and you can be there in Atlanta in just a little over an hour. Juana Harris, first time tuning in. Thank you, Juana. As a first timer, we want to make sure, go to the lipodrops.com website, sign up, give us your email address, and we will contact you directly, and we will make sure that you get one of our prizes that we're giving away today. Because I'm the healthy holiday Santa here to promote your good health. Yvonne Sassane from Warner Robins, Georgia. Hi, Yvonne. Good friends in Warner Robins, a lot of family. Hey, Miss Val Height from College Park. So good to see you participating as well. Barbara Brown from Chicago. All right, North Side. Now we got the Midwest in the house. Sylvia Jones from Detroit. Anybody from the West, California, San Diego, LA, 205. All right, Al Davis from the 205. We know what time that is. Thank you so much. Bertha Point from South Kakalaki. We are here in the house. Okay, Jackie May from Beham, Alabama. Jackie, thank you so much for tuning in. You know we have a special place in our heart for Birmingham, Alabama, because that's where our partner, Mr. Ricky Smiley, lives and breathes. North Carolina is in the house. Chester James, there you go. Thank you very much. Cynthia Benson, North Carolina. Thank you, Cynthia, for tuning in. And I want to share with each and every one of you that we do a special segment now on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show called Wellness Wednesdays. It airs in prime time at 8:20 a.m. on Wednesdays. Ricky Smiley Morning Show syndicated across the country. I'm sure that's how many of you have found Dr. Collier. But we want you to know we also have a YouTube channel, Ask Dr. MJ, with literally hundreds of videos that you can go and on a variety of healthcare topics. So please tune in. Follow me on Facebook. I'll follow you back. I promise you, because we want to make sure that we are able to reach you. When I do Facebook Live and when I do radio broadcasts, I can reach thousands to hundreds of thousands to millions of people with healthcare information. I can only see 30, 40 people a day in my office. So the numbers speak for themselves. We like to impact individuals one-on-one. People ask me all the time, do you see patients? Are you treating patients? All day, every day. I'm a real doctor, if you will. In my practice, I literally finished patients 10 minutes before we started with this Facebook Live broadcast. So today, holiday season, end of year, everybody's trying to get in before their deductibles terminate in the next couple of weeks. So we're trying to accommodate as many people in the office as we can. But yes, the answer to the question is we're taking new patients all day, every day. I literally have people that fly in from around the country, from Florida, from California, from Colorado, that come to Dr. Collier because they want to be seen by Dr. Collier. We're happy to do that. But again, in local, my practice is in the city of Atlanta. And so we are happy if you're coming through Atlanta, if you plan a trip, everybody's got friends and family here now. So you can schedule the time. You fly in on Thursday, come see me Friday morning or Friday day. And then I have been to accommodate the people by seeing them on the weekend if I can get enough people to do that. So it works out wonderfully, and we are glad to service this community. So we've talked about that. Now it's time to answer your healthcare questions. So let's find out what you want to talk about, because this is the people's show. So what questions you have, we're going to let Javi queue them up, and then we're going to start doing that. But remember what I said, the lipodrops.com website, go sign up, give us your email address, and then we're going to give you, they're going to be emails that are significant. This is much more contact than you get just follow me on Facebook or on social media. You're going to get personal reaching out. But more importantly, we're going to gift you with a variety of different things, particularly Lipodrops products. That's not the only thing, but we're going to, figure out what it is you need, what it is you want, what it is you desire, and try to accommodate as best as we can. And then tell a friend. If you have a friend that is not aware of this Facebook Live broadcast, where they can get their healthcare information at absolutely no cost, you don't have to. This is not a telemedicine visit, so it doesn't cost you anything, and you get much more attention because I am not rushed. I don't have the next patient, although I have the next caller, if you will. But we can answer a lot of questions oftentimes through this medium. And if we need more attention, we can contact you directly, particularly if you leave your emails. So that's the service that we provide, and we are happy to do so. We want you to get your Slim Sexy back. You still have time to lose weight. If you get lipo products right now, if you get this big three, if you get the Lipodrops, if you get the Keto Max, and if you get the Lipo Cleanse, you can drop anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds before your office New Year's party, before you celebrate New Year's. You can bring in the year already down instead of waiting. Everybody waits to January 1st to make their weight loss declaration. I want to lose weight in 2023. So, but you can still lose. At minimum, you can stop yourself from gaining. You can enjoy the holiday feast. You can enjoy the holiday drink. This is the season of excess. We eat a lot, we drink a lot. There are calories in those things. Remember, your body does not recognize liquid calories. It does not give you satiety. You don't get full. You just get calories, which turn into fat. So all these sweet holiday drinks and all these things that, have multiple mixers in them and everything, very high in calories, very high in calories. So it's amazing that tequila is one of the best, lowest calorie cocktails that you can have. But tequila and a margarita is one of the highest calorie cocktails you can have. So tequila shots are better than tequila in those types of cocktails. So you want to make sure that, you are monitoring those things. If you're using, Coke or soda for chaser, the diet variety, Pepsi Max, Coke Zero, Pepsi Max, they taste just like the regular product, and they have 0 calories. And so they are very, very good. The best, lowest calorie cocktail you can drink is probably something like vodka tonic or gin and tonic. You can drink those, not have to worry about the calories that are in them. Just be careful about the numbers that you drink. We want to do everything in moderation so that we don't, and again, don't drink and drive. Make sure that you're not overindulging. That's what Uber is for, or you just be at home doing it, or you at a place where you can stay the night, friends and relatives' houses, etc. We don't want you out there trying to drive while under the influence. Okay, Javi, let's get to the questions. We want to start scrolling them, and we're going to answer your healthcare questions. I know. Good evening, Maggie Dawkins Hudson. What is the best treatment for arthritis in the fingers? Most commonly, arthritis in the fingers is osteoarthritis. It affects the knuckles here, the distal knuckles. That's called the DIP joint, the distal interphalangeal joint, then the MIP joint, the medial interphalangeal joint, MIPs, and then the MCP, the metacarpal phalangeal joints. So that's what osteoarthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis affects the MIP, the MCP, and the wrists. And so rheumatoid arthritis also gives you the deformities of the joints. Osteoarthritis just gives you swelling of the joints. You get big knuckles. You get inflammation that's sore when you move them. Rheumatoid arthritis gives you the fingers that are deformed. So, and it does that to all of the bones in your body. So the thing is, both are inflammatory conditions. You treat both with anti-inflammatories. There are natural anti-inflammatories such as apple cider vinegar, turmeric, curcumin, vitamin D, the body's natural anti-inflammatory, and then there are over-the-counter versions of various prescription drugs, Motrin, Advil, Aleve. All of those are good anti-inflammatory products. There's a product, Tylenol arthritis. Tylenol is strictly for pain. Tylenol is not, I repeat, Tylenol acetaminophen is not an anti-inflammatory. It is an anti-pain medication and an antipyretic. It can bring down fevers. It can stop you from hurting. It does nothing for inflammation. So, and it also only lasts about no more than 6 hours. The other products that I mentioned, the Aleve, the ibuprofen, the Advil, they last 8 to 12 hours, and they are non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. So NSAIDs are this is the formal term for them. Very effective in lowering fever, very effective in joint pain, inflammation. And so you just have to take them on a regular basis. A lot of people, they only take them when the pain is, moderate to severe. It's much easier to keep pain and inflammation under control than it is to regain control once you have lost it and your joints are really hurting. So take an anti-inflammatory routinely, but with those other things that I mentioned. Turmeric comes in capsules, comes in powder, comes in teas, all types of various preparations that can help. That's Tumeric, and then curcumin, Cucermin, all good natural anti-inflammatories. Thank you, Maggie. That's a great question. Kathy London, how do you maintain the weight loss after meeting your goal and stop taking the Lipodrops? Guess what, Kathy? You don't stop taking the Lipodrops. You can continue on a maintenance purpose. For aggressive weight loss, I tell people use the Lipodrops 1 dropper full under the tongue before each meal. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But once you're in the maintenance phase, you can just do it once a day. I will take it, and after I brush my teeth, squirt it on my tongue, hold it on my tongue for 2 minutes, and then I either swallow it or spit it out. And that way I'm set for the day. And then, of course, you monitor your food intake. Once you've lost the weight, your stomach shrinks, your food requirements are not as high as they had been. That doesn't mean that your eyes aren't looking at plates and still craving larger portions. So a portion and serving size is very important to maintain a good weight loss, because your stomach is a living, breathing organ. It can grow, it can stretch. Ask anybody who's had gastric bypass, where they take a stomach that's the size of a 2-liter Coke bottle and cut it down to the size of a walnut or a plum. And then, the people lose dramatic amounts of weight because they have no surface area to absorb the calories. Well, people lose 100 pounds the first year. Then the second year, they gain it back because they're stretching the stomach, they're eating more. And that stomach that was the size of a plum can go back to being the size of a 2-liter Coke bottle. So you can stretch your stomach out because it will respond to aggressive eating. So very important that you monitor your portion size. Again, the plate should be dominated by colorful foods, leafy green vegetables, green, orange, yellow, any other color. And then your protein source will be maybe 6 ounces at the most, and doing so. But 2/3 of everything, your sides, if you will, 1/3 of your protein source. And then we went from 8-inch size dinner plates to 10-inch size to 12-inch size, and now they're 14-inch size dinner plates, and we filled them up. So be very careful about doing that. And once your plate is full, don't stack on top of it. And you will often find, particularly in holiday season, that get a little, fill the plate halfway, and then eat that. And then if you decide you want to get some more, go get seconds. Oftentimes you will find that you are satisfied and full, and if you have emptied the plate, you don't feel forced to keep eating because the plate is still half full. And so you can always go back for seconds or thirds, even as I tell my young son who's 16 and eats amazing amounts of food but doesn't gain a pound. But you can always eat more or additional food once you've decided. But you have to give your body time to feel full. Unfortunately, the satiation feeling, or the feeling of feeling full, lags behind our eating speed. Most of the time, we take a long time to prepare an elaborate meal, and we take less than 15 minutes to eat it. We need to slow down, enjoy the food, allow our stomach a chance to appreciate it, and then to tell us that it's full. And then once you get the feeling of satiety, you stop. Embrace it. Say, okay, I'm full. Don't keep saying with just a little bit more, or one other item, or whatever. In doing so, eat one dessert, choose one dessert. If you're going to get multiples, get very small portions, or get half of a serving. So you got two halves of you got one half of apple pie and one half of sweet potato pie instead of one full slice of each. And then you'll find that, you're satisfied, your taste buds are happy, you're happy, and you don't gain weight. So that's how we do it, Kathy. Great question. All right. Tiffany Pitts, first timer from Baton Rouge. Thank you so much for tuning in, Tiffany. I love Louisiana. The people from Louisiana are some of the nicest individuals. And thank you for enjoying the segments on Ricky Smiley Morning Show. We try to bring information to the people, and we talked about this morning the high incidence of heart attacks at this time of year. One of the college football coaches in Division I, Colorado, he died from heart attack at 61. 61 years old. That's very young, particularly for a Caucasian male. But this time of year, there's a high incidence of heart attack due to the stress of the holiday season, the anxiety. It can be money stress. You're spending more than you have. It can be just the stress of trying to work, see friends and family, enjoy the holiday, and get your shopping done. Thank goodness you can do a lot of it on the internet now, and it's delivered to your home, so that can be relieved. The stress of, am I going to get time off? Am I going to be able to spend quality time with my friends, relatives, and children? Everybody else is off, and I have to work. All those scenarios that come into play. But the most common time year-round to have a heart attack is 6 a.m. Monday morning, because you've had a good weekend and you're stressed out about going to work on Monday. So you, quote, wake up dead on Monday morning. So, but that number goes up even higher in the period of time starting a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving and through the New Year's. This is a very, very high stress time for individuals. But other factors are also included. We're so busy shopping and doing other things that people with known disease states like diabetes, like high blood pressure, they may forget to take their medications or leave their medication at home when traveling. And that is a big problem because it's very difficult to get your medications replaced, to transfer to another pharmacy. Insurance companies don't want to pay for another month's supply if they just paid for a month's supply a month ago. So you may have to bear that financial burden. I tell people, if you can, get somebody at home to ship it to you overnight, FedEx, much cheaper than buying new products at the drugstore. And then if you're diabetic, and you normally are monitoring a good ADA, American Diabetes Association diet, a certain number of calories, you can't vary from that too severely. You can, it's the holiday season. You don't have to be so strict, but you also can't have 4 or 5 cocktails, drink a lot of sodas, and the number one beverage to break the diabetes cycle, sweet tea in the South. Sweet tea, amazingly high in sugar. Second place, your sports drinks, Gatorade, Powerade, etc. Extraordinary amounts of sugar, not just salt and sodium. So be careful not only what you eat, but what you drink. Okay, great question. Next, I'm about to have surgery on the 22nd. What is the best remedy to recover fast? Ursula Clark, get rest before the surgery. Make sure that you're eating good protein so that your body will have the building blocks that are necessary to heal your wounds. This is not the time to diet or starve yourself, but also don't eat a lot of junk foods. But foods, again, good protein sources like red meat, fish, chicken, those things, preferably baked or broiled, not fried, and then you'll have what's going on. And then take the time off to allow your body to heal. Nowadays, so many people have outpatient surgery. They make you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to be somewhere. They don't operate on you till 2 o'clock in the afternoon or later sometimes. You've been starving all day. You're hungry. Now you're hangry. Your body is stressed. Your blood pressure's up. So you're starting off in a weakened, less than desirable condition to go under anesthesia and have surgery. So make sure that you can control as many of those variables as you can control, that you're not hungry, that you're not thirsty. You have to fast before. So after midnight, you can't eat or drink anything substantive. But if you go to the doctor's office and you see you're not having surgery until later that afternoon, you don't have to go dry all day. A sip or two of water to wet your whistle is not going to harm you or put you at risk for surgery or surgical anesthesia. People sometimes get a little overzealous with don't eat or drink anything, and you have not eaten or drank anything, and now you're 8 or 10 hours in and you haven't had anything to drink. that is not a good condition for your body to have surgery. So the rest recovery period, very, very good. No heavy lifting. Again, getting rest. Don't be in a rush to resume your usual and customary activities, particularly work. Because guess what? If you hurt yourself or you go back too soon, you're going to prolong your recovery time. You end up being out longer than if you've just taken a few days to do so. Nobody's going to lose their mind if you miss a couple of days of work. But just let them know in advance that you're going to do that versus saying I'll be back on Monday and then you can't come back on Monday. You can come back on Friday. So the worker, employer can plan around your absence as well. It's a two-way street from that perspective. Okay, Ursula, great question. Good luck with your surgery. Angel Hale, I want to know what I can do to help my 44-year-old who's diagnosed with Parkinson's just 2 months ago. Okay, that is a young age for a Parkinson's diagnosis, but I'm seeing more frequent Parkinson's diagnoses. I have multiple Parkinson's patients in my practice in the last year, more so than I have seen in the previous 10 years, actually. I don't know what's going on. Was there something in the environment that's happening? Why this diagnosis is being made? The great thing I like about Parkinson's, it's not hard to make the diagnosis because the tremors associated with Parkinson's are pretty unique. They call it a peel rolling tremor, where your hand does like this, a peel rolling tremor. There are other disease states that I think that are being overdiagnosed, like everybody's getting an MS diagnosis. And I tell people there is no MS test. There's only evaluations of signs and symptoms and a diagnosis of exclusion. We didn't find that it was disease state X, Y, or Z, so we're going to call it MS. And so I tell people, don't accept that diagnosis straight up. Make sure that you've been evaluated, get a second opinion from someone who has a high level of expertise in that disease state. But in this case, 44-year-old with Parkinson's, not hard to diagnose. There are some very effective Parkinson's medications that can control the symptoms. Unfortunately, there's no treatments that are curative at this point, but there have been a lot of breakthroughs. Since Michael J. Fox developed Parkinson's, he started a foundation 15 years ago, and they have made some major research breakthroughs in treating Parkinson's, prolonging the progression. In other words, so it's slow. It takes longer for you to get worse, so to speak, by some of the interventions that they have come up with. But again, for a person, natural things, make sure that person is getting enough rest, make sure they're taking supplements. Dr. Collier's 3 supplements that I recommend everyone take every day, bar none, black, white, male, female, young, old. Everybody should take vitamin D at a dose of 5,000 international units per day, omega-3 fish oil at a dose of 2,000 to 4,000 milligrams per day, and probiotics. Those 3 things are what I call Dr. Collier's trio for a healthy life, and I highly recommend that everyone take them. They're available on the lipodrops.com website. I take them myself every day, and again, I can state unequivocally that I feel like they have maximize my health status at this point in my life. So I feel good. I have no disease states at this point. And so the only issue I had, I think, was I just was carrying a little too much weight. And so now we've lost that 30 pounds down, and now feeling good as well. So there we go. So those are the things you can do. You're going to have to partner with your healthcare provider. Parkinson's is predominantly treated by a specialty of neurologists, but primary care doctors are integral in the treatment and therapy as well. So your neurologist, your primary care, who is a family physician or an internist, you partner with those people, make all your appointments. They're going to put you through these diagnostic tests, particularly MRI scans, sometimes multiple and serial MRIs to monitor progression of disease, sometimes spinal taps. It just depends on what's necessary to confirm the diagnosis and then optimize your therapy. So thank you, Angel. Good luck. Please stay in touch and let us know how we're doing. Chili Will, how you doing, man? I need to lose my stomach area. What do I do? Your stomach area, the muffin top. Lose the muffin top with Lipodrops. That was one of the biggest things that we found out, that with the Lipodrops, not only do you lose fat, but you lose the right kind of fat. You lose the fat that's in the abdomen. There are 2 types of fat. There's the fat above the muscle, and there's the fat below the muscle. And I tell people all the time, you can do 1,000 crunches or sit-ups per day, and you can have a 6-pack. underneath 6 inches of fat in the stomach. You cannot exercise away abdominal fat. You have to lose that weight. You lose the weight in the kitchen, not in the gym. You can tone up in the gym. You can become physically fit in the gym. You can become aerobically fit by exercising in the gym. You cannot lose weight, particularly you cannot target weight loss. So you say, I want to lose my abdominal fat, but it's not like, again, they're going to put you on an ab machine of some type, or you can be twisting exercises or the medicine ball, or a variety of different exercises that move the muscles around. But you got to get rid of that abdominal fat above the abdominal muscles and the intra-abdominal fat, which is underneath the muscle and around all your organs. And that all actually it's a very challenging health condition, because when you have that condition, that belly fat around your organs enhances and increases your chance for cardiovascular disease. That's high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, enhances your chance of having a heart attack or a stroke. So very important that you get rid of that belly. And again, the Lipodrops very effective. Lose the muffin top with Lipodrops. But for dramatic weight loss, you lose the right kind of fat. You lose fat from areas you cannot traditionally lose fat from, such as under your chin, the back, across your back in your bra strap area, ladies, the fat under your arms, the abdomen, the inner thigh, the outer thigh, all those areas that the stubborn areas that it's difficult to lose fat. There's nothing worse than being overweight and you try to lose weight and you lose it from your lower arms, you lose it from your legs. You have these skinny little legs and still have a large torso. One, that's the worst place to lose the fat from. Two, it's not physically attractive. It changes your somatotype to one that's, you kind of have a different perspective and presentation. So you want to lose the fat from those areas. You want to lose the fat from under your chin. Again, this is my second reduction in shirt size and collar size, and I can get 2 fingers in there without hesitation. Whereas before I would have to struggle to button my shirt at a size 17.5 neck size. And so now I'm down to, I went from 17.5 to 17, 17 to 16.5, and I could go to a 16 easily now. But again, I like to give myself a little room. I wear neckties every day. A lot of people don't. And again, even I am concerned about regaining the lost weight. I know exactly what I should do, and I'm just like anybody else. Got a week over the Thanksgiving holidays and ate and drank too much, and so knew the calories that were coming in were not going to be good. That's why I was, even afraid, if you will, about getting on the scale on that Monday morning. Didn't want to weigh myself on Sunday because I was still eating on Sunday leftover Thanksgiving dinner. So I said, well, I'll weigh myself Monday morning, and weighed myself and pleasantly surprised it was only 3 pounds up. And then again, going back to strict regimen of the 3 supplements, the Lipodrops, the Keto Max, and the Colon Cleanse, down a measurable 8 pounds, which I think was really 5 pounds of real weight. Again, very happy with that, and you will be too. So go to the website lipodrops.com, do the evaluation of what type of weight loss you need. The 3 things of weight loss. Number 1, how much you'd like to lose. Number 2, how quickly you'd like to lose it. And number 3, how much you're willing to invest in your personal health. So those 3 things are the decisions that you have to make. And of course, everybody wants to lose as much as possible. Everybody wants to lose it as quickly as possible. But I tell people I can get almost any amount of weight off of anybody in some period of time, usually a shorter period of time than usual. The problem is, where are you going to be in 6 months? I want to make sure that you have sustained that weight loss. It's nothing worse than losing 20 or 30 pounds and then 6 months later you've gained back 40, because you gain more than you lose, because your thermostat tries to push you back to that fixed weight point. I told you about that hormone ghrelin, the ghrelin secreted by your stomach that tells you to eat. And whatever your weight is that you have been at for the last few years of adulthood now, that's your set point. That's where your body wants you to be. And if you lose weight, the levels of that hormone ghrelin keep increasing and keep increasing. So it's not that you have lack of willpower. It's not that you just, you can't stick to it. It's none of that. That hormone drives you to eat, and it drives you to keep eating until you're back at the weight that you were your original set point. The problem is it doesn't stop then. It keeps pushing until you've usually exceeded that set point. And so that's why you lose 30 pounds and gain back 40 pounds. That yo-yo dieting phenomena is real, and there's a physiologic basis for it. It's not, again, that you broke the diet, that you started back eating white foods and you started back eating sugar in your diet. It has nothing to do with any of that. That ghrelin hormone makes you eat, makes you gain the weight back. And so it's very important that you try to control that scenario. So now I've been on this journey now for 5-6 months as well. And so getting through the holidays, just want to see where we are and what we're going to do. Okay, next question, Anthony. Okay, will the lipobiotic cause you to lose weight? Winnie King, lipobiotics don't make you lose weight. What the lipobiotics do, though, is make your gut work more effectively, changes the nature of your whole GI tract. It improves as far as allergies are concerned, bloating in your abdomen, bubble gut, all those things. Like probiotics are the absolute God's gift to good health, because they help with things you don't think about, food allergies. And there's so many different food allergies that people have. They have what's called the leaky gut syndrome, and probiotics are the only thing that can really correct that. Probiotics are found in our product, the lipobiotics, which have multiple bacterial cultures. Probiotics are they're just good bacteria. And so the unit of measure for a probiotic product is colony forming units, or CFUs. Our products have CFUs in the billions with a B, billions of probiotics in each colony, and there are 3 colonies. A lot of products have only millions of CFUs, millions, which aren't substantial enough to give you the benefit, and they may only have one type of colony in their probiotic products. I was, in doing my research on what's available on the market before we came up with the lipobiotic product, I was shocked and surprised that some of the best-selling probiotic products only have one bacterial colony. And so you'll take that and it works. But the point is that now you have one type of bacterial colony that becomes predominant in your GI tract. And that's not good, because one can get, that just one is not good. You want to keep several. It's like not having all your eggs in one basket. You don't want your gut to have one type of bacteria in it that's predominating. You want to have a good mixture of a variety of different types of bacteria. That's what gives you your ultimate GI health. And again, it cuts down on skin allergies, itchy eyes, runny nose, asthma type symptoms. Probiotics have been shown to have so many different benefits. But for GI health, cutting out on the bloating and the discomfort that you have helps you metabolize whatever you eat in a more efficient manner. So that is why, again, you'll feel full sooner, and you will metabolize that food, digest it well without storing all those calories as fat. But it is not technically a weight loss product. It just helps with weight loss when you do some of the other things that we're talking about. So probiotics, again, are just a good natural supplement to take. Wayne, that was a great question. Thank you so much. Okay, Vanessa Bennett, I had fibroids, 6 fibroids. I had a myomectomy in August, but still having 7-day heavy cycles, and I just turned 50 in April. Okay, 6 fibroids and a myomectomy. You still have multiple fibroids, probably. There's a hormonal therapist that you can take that will just shut the uterus down and stop you from bleeding, and you should be on those in doing so. But again, that was August 30th. This is really September, October, November. You're not a quarter away. You're not 3 months out fully from having your surgery. You're still healing as well. And I know that you're not doing those things that you should be doing, which is resting, relaxating, and allowing your body to heal. You have to get back to work. You got to get back to do the things you have to do. At age 50, you have children that may need your attention. You may have grandchildren that need your attention. So that is a problem that you need to address. But there are other things that can be done. Uterine fibroid embolization can basically shut off the blood flow to the lining of the uterus. It's a very good alternative to hysterectomy. But since you were age 50, and don't plan on having any more children, I'm presuming, then a myectomy might not have been the best procedure for you. While in there, just take out the whole thing. Take out the uterus, and this way you don't have an issue with cycles. So taking out 6 fibroids, and now you're having this result of the surgery. I don't want to say complication. It's not a complication, but you're not getting the benefit, which is stopping you from bleeding and stopping you from having pain and painful menstrual cramping. So partner with your provider that did that surgery. Look at uterine fibroid embolization. Amazingly enough, this is not a procedure that's done by GYNs usually. It's done by interventional radiologists, especially that didn't even exist years ago. Now it is, and these are the doctors that predominantly do that. I do know now some OBGYNs that have had training in uterine fibroid embolization, and they have added that technique to their practice. But most of them still do fibroids the traditional way, which is either a complete hysterectomy or a myomectomy, which means just taking out the fibroid tissue. So you're still in the midst of treatment, Vanessa. You have not been. Your process is still evolving to optimize your health. But since you had the procedure on August 30th, you're not far enough along to truly benefit completely from it. We're not sure what your outcome is going to be. But again, if you're having heavy cycles, 7 days, then you got to be anemic. And that's one of the issues you want to prevent and avoid. So make sure you're taking a complete multiple vitamin with iron and minerals. In your scenario, I like to use prenatal vitamins because they have maximum doses of everything that you need in there to help keep your blood cycle build up. Great question, Vanessa. All right. Maria Harris, how do you get carpal tunnel? Carpal tunnel is the tunnel in your wrist. There are 2 bones. On the thumb side, that bone is called the radius. On the little pinky side of the 5th finger, that bone is called the ulna. Those 2 bones come together and make your wrist, along with the 7 bones in your wrist. Well, between those 2 bones is literally a tunnel that contains the tendons that go to all your fingers and allow your fingers to move like this, the arteries, veins, and nerves that supply the blood supply to your hand. So any of those tissues, when that tunnel shape and size is compromised, the first thing that gets insulted are the nerves. The arteries have muscular walls, and they are the last to be insulted. The veins can be compromised somewhat and decrease the blood flow. When veins are compromised, you start to get swelling in the hand because the veins are responsible for taking the blood away and taking it back to your heart. So the arteries are still open. They have muscles in them. They stay open. They're pumping blood down into your hand. It's difficult to get the blood out of your hand, so your hand starts to swell. But if the nerves, which are the first thing to be compromised, you can have numbness, you can have tingling, you can have pins and needles sensation, you can have burning, you can have pain on a scale of 10 plus out of 10. You can have all of those things. You can have weakness in your grip, you're dropping things. All of those are signs and symptoms that you could have carpal tunnel. The simple thing to do with carpal tunnel is therapy and splint. So there are splints that you would put on. You put them on like a glove, and they hold your hand. See, this is the flex position of the hand and the wrist. The relaxed position is when your wrist is up like this. That opens up and maximizes the space in the carpal tunnel. So there are splints that you can put on that have a metal spoon in them that will hold the wrist up like this so that you can't bend your wrist down, particularly if you're working on a computer keyboard like everybody does now. So this used to be a problem for secretaries and people that high-tech industries that dealt with keyboards all the time, but regular people didn't do it. Now everybody has a computer in their home and they own the keyboards proper. So the ergonomics of your workspace want to make sure that you're reaching and your wrists are comfortable. But again, the wrist splints, which hold your wrist from this position up to this position, which is the natural relaxed position, and give your body the maximum carpal tunnel space, versus when you bend your wrist down, which is the normal posture that you do when you're using your hands and wrists. And so you can wear those splints even at night while sleeping. That will give you some relief in anti-inflammatories such as Motrin, Advil or Aleve, prescription strength, Mobic, Meloxicam, Celebrex, ibuprofen, 4, 6, or 800 milligram tablets can do that. Remember what I told you, Tylenol is not an anti-inflammatory. It does not do, it may help with pain if you're having pain. It doesn't do anything else for the condition. But if you're having a lot of pain, you can even alternate Motrin, Advil, Aleve, and Tylenol in between to help better control the pain if there is pain. Most of the time, carpal tunnel is not that painful. It's just more dysfunctional. Not saying it doesn't hurt. It can, but it's not, severe pain, but it can be. Remember what I said. You can have tingling. You can have numbness. You can have burning. You can have pins and needles. You can have literally feel like your hand is in a ball of fire. You can have, again, like somebody's hitting it with a hammer. You can have numbness. You can't feel it at all. And so you pick up something and you drop it. It can be that full gamut of signs and symptoms. But again, the treatment is to decompress the carpal tunnel. The first wave is physical therapy and splinting. That doesn't do it. There's surgical techniques now that they go in there basically and cut away the excess tissue. Any fatty fibrous tissue that could be in the wrist, they try to remove. There's actually now a laser technique that is minimally invasive, and you go get that surgery, they take the laser, they zap the tissue, they put a band-aid on it, you back functioning in a very short period of time. The traditional surgery where they open your wrist up with a scalpel and go in and literally scrape everything can disable you for 2 to 3 months. So go with the latest and the greatest if you're eligible for that. Everybody doesn't they're not susceptible to that surgery. They don't qualify for it for whatever reason. So but the vast majority of people can. And remember, the provider that you're going to, your doctor, has to know how to do that procedure and have that technology available to them. No doctor can afford to have that kind of laser in the office, so they have to be affiliated with a hospital. They have to have been trained in how to do that. But doctors, particularly surgeons, they do what they're trained to do. If you go to an orthopedist or quote orthopedic surgeons, they're going to offer you a surgical treatment option because that's what they do. That's how they treat disease states. So if you go to a general surgeon, they're not going to tell you you don't need surgery. They're going to operate on you as because that's what they do. And I'm not saying it's unnecessary. No, that's not the message that I'm giving you. I'm just saying it's the treatment option that they come up with versus some other more conservative therapies that might be offered to you by a non-surgical provider. But if you go to surgeons, like to fix the problem, like to cut it out. When in doubt, cut it out. They cut it out, fix it. It's gone. Whereas you might have been able to rehab it or prolong the surgery. Surgery is always your final option. I tell people that. You'll know when it's time to get surgery. It could be anything from having a knee or a hip replaced to having a hernia replaced. You'll know when it's time to get it. But the preferred option is to get it sometimes when it's elective, when you can get it done with minimal consequences, short time, you can plan for it. You can say, okay, I can schedule myself to be off for a week. I can get my surgery then, versus having to go to the emergency room in the middle of the night and get surgery under more emergent and stressful circumstances. That's the point that Dr. Collier is making. Okay, next question, Hadley. What is the best treatment for foot diabetic neuropathy? Lee Daniels, great. One, any type of diabetic neuropathy. The most common is the foot because it's the furthest away from the heart. It has the poorest blood flow, and you start to get compromised in the blood flow because of the diabetes. And so remember what I told you, the nerves are the first tissue that are impacted by a change in the environment. They're not getting oxygen. They're not getting nutrition from the blood in the arteries. So it's very important, one, that you control your blood sugar so that the quality of blood vessels, the arteries and the veins, is high enough to give you a good blood flow. So controlling blood sugar, number one. Sustained control, a low hemoglobin A1C, less than 7, ideally less than 6.5, but difficult to get to, I know, but it can be done. So you control the blood sugar so you get improvement in the diabetic neuropathy and improvement in the quality and damage that's been done to the tissues there. Then there are great products, particularly the first generation was a drug called Neurontin or gabapentin. It blocks the neural pathways and calms them down. It's not a pain medication, but it does stop pain. You heard what I said. It's not a pain medication, but it stops pain by blocking and blunting another pathway that helps give you, particularly for neuropathic pain, great relief. So Neurontin or gabapentin, the next generation is Lyrica. It's just an improvement on the molecule of gabapentin, lower doses and fewer doses. The thing and the great thing about these medications is that they work. You just have to get to a therapeutic dose. They kind of get to a certain level and it's literally like a light switch. You go. The room is still lit, and then you hit the light switch, and all of a sudden, your pain is gone. It doesn't just improve; it is gone. That's why I really like the way that those products work. They are non-addicting. The Neurontin in particular can be sedating when you first start it. Most people develop a tolerance to that, so it no longer makes them sleepy. But you have to get to a therapeutic dose. People start off with low doses, 100 milligrams, 2 or 3 times per day. The maximum dose will be 800 milligram tablet, 2 or 3 of them, 2 or 3 times per day. So you can go from a dose of 300 milligrams of gabapentin / Neurontin to 3,600, 4,600 easily. And that it sounds like, oh, that's a lot. Well, it's not a lot. It's a therapeutic dose. I tell people all the time with the medication, people say, I don't want to take blood pressure medicine. Or if I do have to take it, give me the lowest dose possible. The leap in taking medications is to decide to take the medication. Once you decide, I'm going to take this medication in partnership with my provider, we have decided this is the medicine that I need to take, and I'm going to take it. So then you take a dose that works for the problem that you have. Taking a low dose that doesn't do you any good doesn't help you. So you say, well, I take my medicine, but I'm taking the lowest dose. That's not an objective. That's not something that you should strive for. The objective is to take the dose of the medication that works for your disease state and works for you. That can vary tremendously with a lot of different medications that are out there. So you have to titrate is what they call it. Start low, go slow. Start low, go slow. And sometimes you have to increase the dose of a medication until you get the benefit from it. The problem is a lot of people lose their patience. They start off with medicine and the doctor say, well, come back every 2 weeks and we'll titrate it. It may be 3 months before you get to the dose that you need using that technique. So most people by then is, that medicine didn't work for me. So they just stop taking it and they don't even go back to the doctor sometimes. They may even change doctors because that doctor gave them medicine that didn't work for them. Again, that information needs to be shared immediately and up front and reiterated every time you see the doctor. You need to review. How are you doing with this medication? Okay, your blood pressure is better, but it can be better. It's not where we want it to be. Your cholesterol has come down, but it's not where it wanted to be. Your diabetic foot neuropathy has improved, but you're not, pain-free. You're not able to function. It's still bothering you, if you will. So we got to keep pushing that dose up until we get benefit from it. Again, also anti-inflammatory medications. Again, Motrin, Advil, Aleve, Cephaloxivir, Celebrex, Meloxicam, or Mobic. All are good anti-inflammatories. Some are NSAIDs, some are COX-2 inhibitors. They decrease inflammation by a different mechanism. They are less irritating to the stomach and don't affect your blood pressure as much as some anti-inflammatories can. As much as some anti-inflammatories can. Doesn't mean they're going to, but they can. So you have to be conscientious about that. And if you're going to be taking an anti-inflammatory long term, you need to protect the lining of your stomach. So you need to add either an H2 blocker like Pepcid AC or Zantac, or a proton pump inhibitor like Nexium, Omeprazole, all those medications that protect the lining of your stomach. Because if you take an anti-inflammatory NSAID for an extended period of time, and before you know it, you've been on this medication for months or even years, and then it will negatively impact your stomach, possibly giving you an NSAID-induced ulcer. So it's important that you protect the lining of your stomach. And, some of these medications, they say take with food. I tell people, you start eating, take the pill, full glass of water, finish eating. That's the best chance of it not bothering your stomach because your stomach is busy digesting the food. So there we go. Great question, Lee Daniels. Okay. Birth point. Do you have anything that can boost my iron? I don't have a vitamin product proper, but what I do recommend that when you get a vitamin, that you get a complete, this is the verbiage that you want, a complete multiple vitamin with iron and minerals. Not just multiple, but a complete multiple, because you can get, I see people all the time, they bring in a grocery bag full of medicine or supplements. They got one bottle of vitamin A, one bottle of vitamin B, one bottle of vitamin C. You can get all these things in one bottle, in one tablet, if you will, for a very reasonable price. There is no such entity as a generic vitamin. A vitamin is a fixed chemical formula. There is no better way to make it. So you should be able to get a bottle of 100 vitamins for under $10. If you're paying more than that, you're paying for an attractive bottle, or you're paying for a celebrity endorsement, not the quality of the medication. So you'll see name brands such as Centrum, Z-Bank, one a day for men or women. And then you'll see right next to it, the store brand compared to Centrum, Z-Bank, one a day for women. Exact same thing. That's not the case with some generics or medications, because generics are allowed to skew from the formula. They don't have to be exactly the same thing. So that's not true for some generic medications, but a vitamin is a vitamin is a vitamin. So again, I would get the store brand, the most effective way to buy is bottles of 100, and then and take them. Everybody has a bottle of vitamins that's sitting on the kitchen counter or in their medicine cabinet, sometimes haven't even been opened, but they have them. But it doesn't do you any good sitting on the counter. You actually have to take it. So make it a part of your regular regimen. I tell people the simplest thing to do is to keep the medicine by your toothbrush. You wake up in the morning or before you go to bed at night, you wash your face, you brush your teeth, you take your pills, whether that's your cholesterol pills, your blood pressure pills, or your vitamin. That way you don't forget to do it. It's a part of your routine, and you'll do it without hesitation. All right, great question, Bertha. Evangelist Lizelle Spencer. Evangelist, I want you to pray for me and all the listeners to the Rick Smiley Morning Show. I want you to pray for all the people that are tuning in tonight. Pray for all of us. Is it possible to recover from a massive stroke? Yes, we have seen the miracle happen. It is difficult. It takes time, sometimes years. But I never say never. If a person has the will, it really depends on the willingness of the person to put in the work. Because when you have a stroke, the number one symptom that we talk about is paralysis, usually on one side of the body. If you have a stroke on the right side of your head, the left side of your body becomes paralyzed, and it can be upper and lower body. But there are variables to that. It doesn't have to be that, but usually that's the usually customary is one side or the other. You can have, if it's the left side of your body, it's the right side of your face. You can have a slurred speech, speak as if your tongue is tied. You can have mental changes, as in your mind, your thoughts are there, but you cannot verbalize them because your mind and your mouth are not connected the way that they have been previously. You can have difficulty blinking your eyes, closing your eyes, all kinds of issues like that. So all of these things are musculoskeletal movements that you can retrain your body to do. You just have to keep moving. The biggest problem and the biggest issue is that people start splinting immobile appendages, particularly the arms, and so it just becomes frozen. You're not using it. You start to get spasm in the arm, and the hand starts to close up. Some people, the hands close up, their fingernails continue to grow. They will grow into the skin and cut their hands up and create wounds in their hands. So contractures are a big problem. So you got to open that hand. You got to move those fingers. You got to move that wrist. You got to move that arm. You got to move that leg. And it's a continuous process. Most people, when they have a stroke, they go to rehab, and then, after a while, the insurance magically says, we're not covering it anymore. Regardless of where you are in your status, you are as recovered as you're going to get, because insurance is no longer paying for it. But I tell patients all the time, the great thing about rehabilitation services and physical therapy is that they show you what to do. And it's rare that there's a machine or apparatus that you have to access through the physical therapist. Most of these motions and movements are things that you can do, or somebody else can help you do or do for you. So once the knowledge is there, you don't have to keep going and pay somebody for physical therapy. Once you know what to do and how to do it, you can do it at home. You just have to stick to it. And so I say pray. Your spirituality and your mental attitude is very important as far as recovering from a stroke. And a massive stroke, not so massive that it killed you. So that means God has a plan for you. That's something that they want a person to do. Whatever that challenge is, whatever it is they're supposed to do, it's just not their time. So God wants them to do that. And you can do it by just letting your body deteriorate, or you can build things back up by working it out. Okay, that's our final question. I want you to go. Okay, we'll go to this. Are Lipodrops safe if you take high blood pressure medication? Yes, Lori Carr Jennings, because the Lipodrops do not contain any stimulants. The Lipodrops are compatible with virtually any prescription medication, any disease state. So you can have high blood pressure, you can have diabetes, you can have high cholesterol. The Lipodrops are safe to take. There's no medication that there's a contraindication to take the Lipodrops for, because they're just amino acids that help you metabolize fat. And so these are commonly available in certain types of foods and vegetables and fruits, but we can't eat enough of them to get the concentration that's in the Lipodrops. The rest of it are vitamin B products. Vitamin B, which decreases your appetite and helps your body, cuts on the weight loss mechanism and tells your body it's okay to lose the weight. So go to the website, lipodrops.com. Dr. MJ Collier, your healthy holiday Santa, is going to be providing incentives and gifts, and we're going to give you things. You sign up, you give us your email, go to lipodrops.com. Remember, you still have time for your weight loss journey. You can still lose 5-10 pounds before your New Year's party, but you can get a jump start on your January weight loss goals, because everybody, that's when everybody does it. We're going to have Dr. Collier's weight loss challenge starting in January. We want everybody to participate. We want you to give us updates on your weight loss, your starting weight. This is all going to be the honor system, because I have no way of determining again, but ideally you take a picture maybe of yourself on the scale, show what your weight is, and then we're going to monitor the progress, give you some insights, things that can do to help you optimize. If you're having great success, you tell us what you're doing, share that with the group so everybody can benefit from it, because everybody has a weight loss secret. They're doing something, they say, wow, I'm losing weight, I'm not going to tell anybody. I want you to tell everybody. Share the information. Go to lipodrops.com website, get your Lipodrops, get your probiotics, get your Keto Max, get your Lipo Cleanse, so that you can optimize your weight loss and your health. Remember also the Lipo Immune, very important to boost your immune system, to get you through this this triple pandemic of respiratory syncytial virus, the flu, and the coronavirus. Elevating your vitamin D level will help boost your immune system and help decrease your susceptibility to all three of those disease states, because you can get shots for the flu, you can get shots for the coronavirus, the booster shots now to help. There's no treatment there's no immune system, there's no vaccine for the respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV. All right. Thank you so much for a great show, Havoc. Thank you, the listeners, for tuning in. Thank you for wonderful questions. I want everybody to have a happy holiday season. This is the final broadcast before January. Get ready for your January weight loss challenge, because we're going to do it. We're going to do it together. Hopefully, I'll still be where I'm at. If I put on a pound or two, it's a holiday. Everybody's susceptible, but we're going to get on it in January and get back. We're going to get, back to that youthful high school vibe. We're going to be there. Let's do it, everybody, together. Here we go.